turned my Bluetooth off. Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, so hopefully y'all can hear me now. This is kind of me just like experimenting too, because I wanted to see if I could really go live on my phone. Um, but yeah, so I'll just start talking about what I left off on. But y'all, I feel like I want to homeschool. Like, have any of y'all homeschooled y'all kids before, or have you ever looked into it? Or because I feel like the school, like, this is, it's crazy because it's one of the best schools here where we live. And I'm not saying that my kids aren't getting the proper education. Like, I feel like they are, but it's not at the rate that I want them to get it. Because I feel like they're kind of, based on their previous school and me kind of teaching at home, I feel like they are a little bit ahead of the game. And so now the school they're in is like kids, it's a mixture of kids. And so sometimes, teachers have to balance between the kids that are kind of, that know a little bit more, and then the kids that don't really, they're struggling a little bit. And so I just feel like uh one of my kids, they're getting bored. And and it's like early in the school year, but I see it already where they're getting bored. And it's kind of like, and it's not bored as in the result of them being bored is not behavior problems or anything like that. It's just kind of like just not enjoying the class or not enjoying school or whatever. So I don't know, but I think I'm really gonna look it up because um mm, I just got that gut feeling about it, like, maybe it'll be a better option. And also, I think too, it depends on the end goal that you kind of have for your kids. Like, if you're a type of parent, because I be thinking ahead, man, I be thinking like, okay, I'm thinking, even though they may be in elementary school, I'm thinking, okay, what are the plans for them when they get out into the real world? Like, are they going to want to go to college? Are they going to be one of those kids where, or young adults where they feel like they don't need school, that, they can start their own business? Because really now, like, I feel like my parents pushed, okay, you got to go to school. You got to go to school. You have to, um that's what the plan is. But I feel like I'm not going to be one of those type of parents, because at this rate, in the world we live in now, like, you could get it without going to school. Like, sometimes, like, I feel like school was a trap, y'all. I really do. Sometimes I feel like that, but then other times I feel like, you know what, it was definitely, like, I wouldn't be in the position that I am now if I did not go. You see what I'm saying? It's like a catch-22. But I'm definitely not a person that says, "Oh, you got to go to school," like, because you really don't. I mean, you do if you want to be a medical doctor, if you want to be an attorney, things, professions of that nature, yes. But some things in my field, and a lot of other things. It's a lot of things that you can do without. It's a lot of things you can do to make a living without having to go to school for years and years and years. Um. So yeah. So I'm like, dang. I just wonder. Like, what is the end goal? Like, I wonder what my kids would want to do, so that I can make the right decision for them now. And it might not even be like I'm saying the right decision, but it just depends on that child, because I could do all of that and then they get to the point where it's time for college and they'll say, oh, I really don't, I don't want to go. Or, they have a different type of plan for their lives and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just hard it's difficult at sometimes, y'all, being a parent, for real, because you got to take all these things into account. um so yeah, so let me know if y'all have ever homeschooled y'all kids, and if so, what was the experience like? A lot of people say, oh, well, if you homeschool, the kids are going to miss out on their social skills, and they're not going to have social skills. But I don't think that's true. I feel like in regular school, like, the kids are inside the school all day. But if you're homeschooled, you could be learning practical things, like actually how to live life. Like, I feel like you will gain more social skills, because, like, if I homeschooled, I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, if I homeschooled, I would give my kids a chance to see real world things, or go through real world experiences, like going to the grocery store, like walking to the park, like, and in those experiences they talk to people. You know what I'm saying? And see how other people engage, in conversation, and learn social skills and social behaviors from other people. So I don't think that is a reason to not homeschool your kids, just because you're fearful of them not experiencing the social, gaining social skills and stuff like that. And then too, some areas have like homeschool roundups, where other parents who homeschool their children, you all will meet up like once a week, and they'll have outings to where the other kids can kind of interact with each other. So I'm really thinking about it, y'all. I'm really thinking about it. But we'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to um, come and do this live from my phone, because I wanted to see if I could do it. I don't even know. I'm gonna check back and see if you guys can hear me. I told y'all, this channel, it is all about mental health, and I wanted to start, YouTube, because it was something on my heart to do. And so y'all are going through it with me. Y'all basically going through the motion, these motions and all these challenges with me. Because I'm not a YouTuber that said, you know what, let me go buy all this equipment. I said, I'm gonna use what I have, and we're gonna grow from there. Um, so yeah, so this is like a little experiment, y'all, to see if I could actually go live on my phone. But again, thank you. I hope you guys can hear me. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed. Like, when I saw that I was past 100 subscribers, I said, "What, girl? What?" I was so excited, y'all, for my 100. I really was. Cause if y'all knew, if y'all knew how long I've been talking about doing YouTube, honey, y'all will be like, girl, why you wait so long to start? I don't even know. I feel like the only reason somebody wouldn't start something, anything, it don't even have to be YouTube, is because of, and they may not want to admit it, but I'll admit it, underlying fear. Right? Fear of what though? That's really what it boils down to. I'd be like, fear of what? Fear of what? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? That's really what it is. If you don't start anything, it could be anything. Fear of starting a new career, fear of starting a new job, shoot, fear of and fear is really just like, it'll turn into anxiety too. So you might as well go ahead and do it. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Um, so yeah. But again, this was, oh, okay. Please, if you entered the live, please let me know if you can hear me, because I just been talking and I don't know if anybody can hear me. Um, so yeah, so it's just fear of trying something new, you know. And we should never be fearful of that, because life is short. We all know that. So you might as well do what you always wanted to do. You know, holding on to old habits and stuff like that, and thinking of, really is, fear of people's acceptance of you too. And we have to let that go. And two, I feel like a lot of the stuff that, the saying where people are always like, what was I doing before I had kids? I really be thinking that, y'all. I'm like, before I had kids, what was I doing? Not a dang on thing. Tripping. Tripping. I'm like, you could have done a lot of stuff. Now, then when you have kids, you're like, dang, I don't really have the time to do nothing. But on the flip side, for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, on the flip side, my kids motivate me. They inspire me. They motivate me to really let go of the fear of doing stuff. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I've done a lot. I've accomplished a whole lot. But it's more that I got to do, really, for the sake of them. You know what I'm saying? For them. And they pushed me a whole lot, and they still do. They push me a whole lot. They inspire me. They motivate me. Um, to get my ish together when I ain't got it together. um, so yeah. So hopefully, with this channel, I'm able to inspire somebody and empower somebody else. And just show you the like it can. Hi, Pastel. How are you, Pastel? Can you hear me? Cause these other, I'm about to get old school, and y'all, I'm really not that old, but I'm gonna get old school. These jive turkeys act like they can't tell me if they can hear me or not. Thank you. That, where did I get that from? That made me think about Pastel. I'm in the what do they call this? The school line or whatever they call it, child. Picking up my baby, but and I went to go live, but where is that saying from? The Jive Turkeys, Coolie High. Oh, that's a classic movie. Coolie High. Coolie High. Um so yeah. So yes, I went to come on the live. I was talking about homeschooling because I feel like my kids aren't getting the education that I want them to get. I want my kids to have uh and it's kind of, I probably do need to look into, and I did, but I didn't really like it though, the Montessori education, because Montessori schools, they teach more on a practical level, right? They teach more on a practical level of real world skills. But then I was thinking, okay, well, if I put my kids in a Montessori school, Montessori, I don't know about any other states, but or any other areas, but in Florida, they only go up to the 8th grade. So I'm like, Montessori doesn't really focus on the kids having a lot of structure, right? Um, and so once they leave 8th grade and they get into high school, and they go into a structured type of school, like how will that be for them, so I be thinking ahead on some of this stuff. I try to think, try to be proactive, so I didn't really like the idea of Montessori, but I'm really starting to like the idea of homeschooling, because I just feel like, I'm like, my kids are in school all day, like inside the building. And, during this season in Florida, it's the hurricane season, it's the rainy season. They get anxiety, right? So it's the rainy season. So it's like they don't even really go to recess because it's wet outside. And so I'm like, okay, but if my child was home and I was homeschooling, they could be learning a whole bunch of stuff, right? How do we cook, how do we measure things when we're cooking? That's math. Doing nature walks, um going to the grocery store. How do you know what you need, before you go to the grocery store? Let's say, like, just practical things that you're going to need in the real world. And I just feel like they're not getting that, because the teachers have to balance between the kids who know a little bit more and the kids who may need a little bit more help. And that's fine. But I think entering into a new school, my kids were a little bit ahead, and um so I don't know. And it's early in the school year, and all right, I'm back. I'm gonna have to get off of here soon. This was just a test, really. I'm getting ready to get up off of here because it's not connecting. It's not connecting. But I'm gonna try to get back on live later on tonight. Hopefully, we have a verdict today. So, I'm looking forward to see, what what comes with that. But I'm getting ready to get one of my precious babies, and I will see you all later. I hope you enjoyed this little live. It was just an experiment, a little test, and I will see you all later. Bye.